here play games. I bet you're thinking, what kind of games is this woman talking about? Well, I bet many of us have either heard or played the games like What If, or Would You Rather, or 20 Questions. Now these are games in which random and extreme questions are asked, and they're meant to make you think about your decision and why. Now these games typically are not common, which makes them so unique and interesting to ask and answer. So, let's play a game. Turn to the person next to you, if you will, and ask them this question. Hey, what did you eat for dinner last night? Well, if you had asked me, I would say that I had yummy chicken noodle soup and chips. Now, did that question feel weird to ask?
Yes.
And did you get a direct answer, or did they just stare at you like you're crazy? Now turn to the other person, to your other side, and ask them this question. Would you rather have everything you drew come to life, or every thought you had come true? So, good job. You guys are doing great. Awesome. Was this question easier to ask? And if so, why do you think so? Though both questions are indeed random, the first one is a bit more peculiar and personal, especially when asked by a stranger. I mean, who thinks about what they had for dinner the night before? And better yet, who even goes around asking that question? It's a little weird, right? But I've been asking this random and seemingly meaningless question since I was 5 years old. But what if I told you that from my experience of asking this question for over 42 years, that I have learned a plethora of information, not only about myself, but about others and this world we live in. You know, it's crazy to think that you can learn so much from one question that you're genuinely curious about. And from allowing myself to continue to boldly ask the what if and the would you rather questions, I'm constantly reminded how important and beneficial it is to stay curious, no matter how awkward that journey may seem or how old you or I may be. Regarding curiosity, the American Medical Journal of Medicine states, it's one whose benefits extend beyond its own satisfaction. In addition, according to a professor at the UC Davis Center for Neuroscience and Psychology, curiosity recruits the reward system of our brains. And the hippocampus seems to place our brains in a state in which we're more likely to learn and retain information, even if that information is not of particular interest or importance. So essentially, when curiosity is stimulated, our brains release dopamine, which is the neurotransmitter and feel-good hormone. You know, when I read this, it took me to the prehistoric year of 2002. Okay? I was in college in a marine biology course when my professor was discussing the strong possibility of communicating with dolphins. And as he continued to present the most interesting and captivating information, I couldn't help but to quickly stand and ask, "Sir, this may be a stupid question, but to what level will we really be able to have to communicate with dolphins? I mean, we realize how intelligent they are, but what you're sharing today seems to be on a whole nother level." And you know, before I sat back down in my seat, and to my surprise, he responded in an almost irritated and mocking sounding tone in which he said, "Makesha, don't ever start a question with, 'Sir, this may be a stupid question.' And don't ever apologize for being curious or asking questions that you may have, no matter how far-fetched the idea may be. And the only stupid question is the one not asked." And you know, I remember at that moment feeling a sense of empowerment and satisfaction for not only having my question answered, but for also feeling encouraged to continue to wonder and ask these questions. You see, it's not just the what questions that need to be asked. Sure, those are great, but more often they serve as just starting points. So they too have a stopping point. It's the why and the how and the when questions that help us understand things on a deeper level. They help us make connections, improve interactions, as well as initiate analysis. And you know, these are the things that I want to see take place in my classroom as an educator. I want y'all to think about something for a minute. When was the last time any of you in here allowed yourself to remain genuinely curious about something that's out of the ordinary or what's commonly expected, and you acted upon it and you sought out that explanation? As we get older, why do we seem to lose this innate gift of wonder? Is it because you're too busy? Maybe you're too stressed. Maybe you're scared of what someone may say should you go ahead and ask that random question. Or maybe you just think you know it all. Well, with that being said, I would say, if we're being honest with each other, it's probably because of one of these reasons. And sadly, this rings true even in classrooms where curiosity is not allowed to flourish and grow. According to cognitive scientist and researcher Elizabeth Bonowitz, curiosity is innate in all humans, a sensation much like hunger and thirst. Curiosity acts as a filter that we put over the world to help our brains decide what information to attend to. She continues to say it's this psychological response that drives action and decision making to help support learning. And you know, as leaders and educators, focusing on just getting the right answer, we can unknowingly stifle a student's curiosity, as well as encourage the black and white mindset. And we could do this through a variety of ways. We could do it through homogenized testing, stationary curriculum, a lack of differentiated learning opportunities, or just having an overall stagnant mindset. And you know, it's no wonder why research by Susan Engel, author of The Hungry Mind, found that questioning significantly dropped once students started school. When her research team logged how many questions students at an American suburban elementary school asked, sadly, they found that within a 2-hour period, these students were only asking between 2 to 5 questions. And what makes matters worse, when these students got older, questioning stopped altogether. In one classroom that she observed, she watched a student ask this question: are there any places on earth where no one makes art? And you know, the teacher stopped that student in mid-sentence and responded with, hey, not now, no more questions. It's time for learning. I mean, wow, right? What kind of learning is this besides teaching that being actively curious or creative is either problematic or burdensome? Responding with not now or no more questions or we don't have time for that right now only stifles curiosity, whether it's in a classroom setting or not. And it makes students and adults alike shut down. So, to encourage curiosity in my room, I keep a did you know standing whiteboard outside of my classroom with daily written what if, did you know, or would you rather facts, questions, and scenarios for those to pass by and read and think about. I also keep a my topic choice board in my room for students to choose an educational topic that they're genuinely curious about, and they get to teach the class what they've learned. And you know, by doing this, students are able to expand their thinking and enhance their learning. It also opens themselves up to more positive perspectives and experiences. Not to mention, it gives them an opportunity to step outside their comfort zone and take risk. One student approached me after presenting his topic, and he said, Miss Gordan, I've always loved black holes in space. I've always been intrigued by them. And I've always wanted to share what I know with others, but I've always been so scared that people would make fun of me for that. And you know, it was obvious that from this student's reaction that he felt a sense of personal accomplishment and pride for not only what he achieved, but better yet, he remained curious despite his anxiety and his fear of being made fun of. Let's ponder on something for a moment. What if the Scottish inventor Alexander Cumming didn't invent the first modern flushable toilet? I mean, that would be pretty crappy, don't you think? I mean, come on, let's get real. I don't know if you're happy, but I'm happy that I have a modern flushable toilet in my home, all right? What if William Maxon told himself, this idea, man, of mine will never be accepted, when he thought of inventing what we now know as the air fryer? I mean, who would have thought that you could actually bake a chocolate cake in an air fryer? But wait, I saved the best for last. Ring, ding, 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 ding. The almighty cell phone. I mean, what a concept. To be able to talk to someone thousands of miles away on a device not connected to a wall. I mean, who would have thought, right? Well, I guess Martin Cooper, the inventor of the first cell phone, allowed his curiosity to get the best of him because an astonishing 97% of Americans currently own a cell phone. Now that is worth talking about. So you see, when curiosity is encouraged and supported, life-changing events can and they do unfold. Fostering curiosity allows us to feel alive and take these risks. And also, with curiosity, it should never be stifled and it should never be ignored because when it is so costly. So many learning opportunities for growth are missed. Instead, we should actually be looking for learning pathways that inspire innovation and inquiry to help cultivate a growth mindset. Because if we're not growing, then what are we doing? We definitely aren't moving forward for sure. And you know what? We can't do this without championing a curious mindset. So tonight, I want to leave you all with this challenge. Let yourself go there. Go ahead and ask the what if and the would you rather questions. And if you're bold enough, ask the what did you eat for dinner questions. Because you never know what you could discover about yourself, those around you, and this huge world we live in. And as Steve Jobs says, stay hungry, stay foolish. I, in addition, will leave you with stay curious, always. Thank you.